reduced conflict intersection. Widely used in the United States, the R-cut prohibits drivers from crossing at the T of the intersection and forces them into a U-turn lane. Traffic lights here are not seen as a safe option.
Last summer, just over a month after the bus crash, this intersection was the scene of another terrible accident, a three-vehicle collision that sent 3 people to hospital seriously injured. After that, the province installed rumble strips near the intersection and new signs.
One expert says the safety investigation into the bus collision should be done at a national level, similar to how air and rail accidents are investigated.
We're going to learn from it, and we're going to be in a position to update our laws and regulations in Manitoba and in every other province.
For daughters still trying to understand why the crash happened, Adrienne Zerba believes the changes coming will help keep others safe.
It does give me some peace of knowing that they're working their hardest to do this.
The 3 options will go to public consultation with a design chosen in 6 to 9 months. Omar.
All right, Jill, thank you. To the conflict in the Middle East now, where Hezbollah says one of its commanders was killed in an Israeli strike. The news comes as America's top diplomat continues his tour of the region to try and de-escalate tensions. Here's CTV's Heather Wright.
About 1 kilometer from the Israeli border, smoke was seen rising in southern Lebanon today. According to Hezbollah, a series of airstrikes killed one of its senior leaders, Wissam al-Tawil, increasing already heightened fears of a wider regional conflict. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in the region this week, trying to prevent that from happening. His next stop is Israel.
I will press on the absolute imperative to do more to protect civilians and to do more to make sure that humanitarian assistance is getting into the hands of those who need it.
He has a very tricky agenda here in order to keep this from making a splash into a much wider conflict, while at the same time assuring each set of allies that he's really on their side.
Gaza's health ministry says more than 20,000 people, roughly 1% of the population, have been killed since October 7th. When Israel began its bombardment of Gaza in response to the brutal attacks carried out by Hamas. Over the weekend, Israel said it was beginning a new tactical approach in the south, where the majority of the population has fled, though it's not clear what that will look like. Today, 3 people were killed and more than a dozen injured following the strike in the south. With food scarce, people tried to salvage food supplies from a car damaged in the blast. It was all for daily sustenance, says Mohammed Al-Qasas. There were no missiles. They were unarmed people.
With Israel saying it is shifting tactics in Gaza, family members of those still being held hostage are demanding the government prioritize their release. The IDF says military activity will not end until they are free. Omar.
All right, Heather, thank you. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said today his government is examining options to list Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization 4 years after it shot down a passenger jet taking off from Tehran, with dozens of Canadians and permanent residents. Today, families of those who died in that tragedy gathered to remember.